Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Path of Exile. We have arrived in Lunar's temple on the Merciless. Today we are going to face Piety. With a bit of luck we're going to face a Dominus as well. We are playing in the Hardcore Breach League as a solo self-found summoner of caustic clouds and incidentally also minions. Yes, that opening used to go slightly different. I used to open up with something more along the lines of a summoner of things. Which technically we still are. Just that our focus should be shifting now away from being a pure summoner and more towards caring about the caustic clouds. And that is because, of course, minion damage is slowly... our minion's damage is slowly reaching its natural point. Let's see. There's just so much stuff happening. I have issues even seeing where the heck my mouse cursor is, and that's really annoying with teleportation. So this is where the point where resummoning our Spectres in order to obtain more caustic clouds definitely helps. There's a lot of stuff happening down there. Holy moly. How much fire can there be? But we survived. Definitely can see this getting quote unquote interesting as we advance further. And of course lots of items dropped yet again. What's there? There's something over there. Ah, just some hostile raised zombies. But as I was talking about earlier, our focus should be shifting now from simply doing damage with our minions to doing damage with the caustic clouds that minions leave when they die and or get replaced. Those don't have to be mutually exclusive. We are summoning lots of raging spirits. They are, well, the second lowest in terms of life on the minion totem pole. The skeletons have less life, then you get raging spirits. Then you get zombies, which actually are quite a step up from raging spirits. And then you get your golem. Stone golem actually being one of the most tanky minions you can summon. Let's see, we get additional two rare items. We work that. Well, the thing is, all those gems, they level up. And the minions that you summon, they level up based on the gem level. At some point they will hit their maximum. And they, of course, there are things like, you know, getting +2 to minion level gems or minion gem levels in your helmet works a lot. Corrupting gems gets you a chance of getting a +1 level. Okay, there's a lot of minions here and I'm standing really nicely on this island here. I think I'm just gonna keep standing on this little island here. And we are going to summon a lot of caustic clouds. So, still trying to find a little bit of a balance between, on the one hand, caustic clouds. And on the other hand, no. What was I thinking? Getting away from my safe spot, and more importantly, what was I thinking walking into that area that was very clearly infested with those lightning orbs? This was a very clear indication of a misplay. And it's a very clear reminder, of course, that you as the player are most of the time the weakest link in your build. Well, at least I am the weakest link in my build. Let's at least take responsibility for that. I'm definitely not the world's best player or the most observant player. I do like to play quirky builds, which also doesn't help. But a minion monster, if you are playing as a cautious player, then there's gonna be a wall of knuckleheads between you and whatever is trying to kill you. The thing is with breaches, and that's where we get back to the topic. The breaches, the interesting loot is located at the edge of the breaches, because those are those grasping hands. And the very, very, very rare superior grasping hands that will drop a lot of splinters. So there is, especially once as with what we had before, we had a very, very nice safe spot that melee monsters really couldn't get to, because they had to get up the stairs and then curve around a little bit. So it was a very, very nice defensive location. But the thing is, of course, that allowed us to create a beachhead. But in order to go for the rewards, you need to get away from the safe zone. You need to venture forth, push aggressively to the edges of the breach, and put yourself into harm's way. And, well, I was looking at the number of enemies around me. That appeared to be pretty good. We were pushing the enemies back. We were doing very well with our breachhead. Now, lots of caustic clouds, lots of raging spirits, lots of skeletons, lots of everything, pushing things back to the edges. Of course, being so focused on not seeing health bars of enemies, I was completely overlooking the fact that those nice white orbs were not part of the terrain, but they were actually very, very dangerous lightning orbs. But luckily we survived. It would have been very, very shameful to die to that. But I think it does set the tone. This my heart rate has been elevated. We are now fully awake. Apparently the coffee I had was not strong enough this morning. But now, with an adrenaline rush of nearly dying, we should be all wake up and ready to go after Piety and hopefully the Dominus as well. And once we clear Dominus, then there's gonna be about 1 episode remaining in order to get rid of the dried lake and the mines. And then it's gonna be map o'clock, and I already see purple swellies, which is good. Minions, get over here. Take some bullets for me, will you? Yes. Okay. Good. Okay, let's get some more raging spirits up. Get some corpses down. And then we resummon some other minions, and they are doing similar things to me. I'm not a fan. Hey, Army of the Damned is up. Hey. We got a corridor pushing 2 ways. Pushing out into unexplored areas like this means that there's gonna be normal minions that will die naturally, and therefore they will cause corpses naturally. So you're not as strongly reliant on Desecrate to get corpses up. Of course, not having to cast Desecrate means you can spend more time summoning other things. Running back here to see if the minions didn't push into other directions. But no essences dropped, or no splinters dropped. Also, you might have noticed the essence drain not dropping in the color that my normal gems would. That is of course because I've got a highlight on the word essence for essences that are dropping from bosses. An essence drain also happens to contain the word essence. Probably should fix that, but essences have been rather rare. Also, this one is now ghost possessed. This was actually a ghost doing its job correctly. Here. For that, you actually get to see the Army of the Damned. And we get a nailed fist. And a full inventory. Nailed fist being last resort. And our inventory going empty. Of course, there's an achievement tied to identifying, I think, 100 different uniques. So far we are doing a pretty decent job Also, we managed to get the breach reward, so I've also got the breach footprints equipped. They give this nice purple reddish glow, and it also pulsates every once in a while. Let's see, I identify 100 uniques, yeah. We're up to 36 so far. Hey, yes, note to self, update loot filter to also show lower tier areas, because I'm starved for orbs of alteration. Orbs of alteration, definitely burning a lot of them. So here you already noticed that against the tougher rares, if you're playing as a zoom monster, you're slowing down and it takes your minions a longer time to just clear yellows. On the other hand, Spinecrack here dies rather quickly, being more of an aggressive unique. It's not something that's tied to specifically uniques or blues or yellows. It definitely is the combination of modifiers. But some rares, if they get extra life, if they get some kind of other defensive bonuses, it takes a while to kill them. So we've Painted Buckler, that's the Chalice of Horrors. Oh, Calmhalt. Oh no, Horrors is slightly different, but Calmhalt is nice. Increased maximum cold resistance, and this one has a prophecy tied to it, where you can upgrade it to a unique called Colton Soul, which makes you take a portion of, I think, fire damage instead as cold damage, and because it boosts your cold resistance by a maximum of 5, you will be more efficient at resisting it as cold rather than as fire damage. So that is for, if you got the upgraded version, that form of incoming damage shifting is very useful for the Breach Lords, where the element of incoming damage is going to be predictable. Therefore, you could use those things to your advantage if you are dedicated about running certain bosses. Here we are re-raising corpses as Spectres, and the boss fell over rather quickly. And we get another bridge up. Let's see, so there's this trick. There's 2 wagons on this side and there's a 1 wagon on the other side. That is something that apparently you can use as an indicator to see which way is forward and which way is not. I'm going towards the one that has 1 wagon, see if that is indeed where we have to be. Yes, there is no blockage. So 1 wagon leads the way forward, 2 wagons leads to the wall. And I just felt like summoning the army of the damned here. Or simply no other reason than that we can. Someone is screaming there. I heard it. Minions, protect me. So far we are making really good speed here. I think going after Dominus is definitely in the cards still. Especially the opening salvo of these tentacle miscreations, it can hurt a lot. That's why, you know, summoning the army of my minions, and not even the army of the damned, it's simply the minions. But summoning them definitely helps. Also, there is a Shroudwalker here. Yes. I saw the cloud, but I didn't see the Shroudwalker. And of course that is intended, because you're not supposed to see the Shroudwalkers. But they will see you. And they will try to kill you. Okay, there's gonna be a blue pack in here, but we just teleport behind them after they have locked in their target, their orientation. They will just shoot behind me, and if we don't teleport in our minions, then they should get occupied before they fire a second salvo. And the damage is going to be largely diminished. Oh, there's a rare here. Get it out. there were some extras coming in here that felt useful to port away from the damage there. Similarly, wait, why didn't my teleport stick? I think I tried to cast something else before the teleport had actually started casting. That is one way to overwrite your casts or your skills. Because Path of Exile, to the best of my knowledge, doesn't have a skill casting queue like you have in some MMOs. It's more based on whatever you are casting at the time you are able to cast something and not still busy casting something else. That's why I have gotten into a habit of just holding keys until I visually see abilities cast.
Such power wasted on a feeble imagination.
Okay, got some caustic clouds going, bit of wither. Army of the Damned makes its entrance, and now then of course she runs away. A port behind her, minions go here, and then we do some caustic clouds and she's withering away. Nice. Sharktooth Quiver, Val Orb and another map. I have to say, I'm really happy with the loot drops so far. This is Harry's Bite. This is Harry's Bite. That makes unique number 37, 38. And we got 3 of them this so far. Of course, they are not the most useful ones. Well, Colton Soul is a contender. It's definitely a contender. If you got the upgraded version, that is. We can pick up some extra rares and then make our way out. Empty our pockets yet again, and then we go after Dominus. Yeah. But before that, let's have a chat with the folks here. Clarisse has been avenged, and Greiger gives us 2 whole skill points, which are lovely. So this will help us round out Potency of Will. I suspect this gives us either 19 or 20 Raging Spirits at a time. So next goal is going to be Foresight. So 1 point into the energy shield over here. And then a bit further. Oh, also something that I haven't spoken about, but you might have noticed. My life and energy shield have been steadily going up. That's because I've been lucky in finding some items. A couple of episodes ago I upgraded my gloves into, these are, I think this is just a elked gloves. And I just got a really nice roll. Things I look for is good life rolls. And then supplementary good energy shield rolls. This one has an 18% increased energy shield roll, so obviously that is poor. But 70 life, 22 to cold resist, and a crafted 32 lightning resistance on gloves is pretty decent. The boots, I think I spoke about it. This is just a very good roll. 2 very good resists as well as good base life. Still need to get Torah to level 6 in order to craft a better movement speed on this. And in between episodes, the reward actually for killing General Gravices, the item you get from Maramoa was a shield. I picked the shield, and this is the one that rolled. 77 to life, as well as 8 to all elemental resistances and 8% to lightning resistance. Made for a pretty decent base item. So I crafted more energy shield on top, and this item by itself increased my life numbers here by 120 to life and about 110 to energy shield. So those upgrades, they start stacking, and of course because we are massively over resisting our resistances, I could get away dropping some resist from our old shield in favor of this new one. And because we now have 140 energy shield from our shield, it does become interesting to go after the energy shield on shield upgrade over here, because that will further increase it by another 40%. But we are now done with Lunar's temple, and that means it is time to climb the spire and defeat God. Or at least the man who finds himself to be a god. He's not a god, of course. He's just a deluded fool who went really on a crazy power trip. But he's also just another step on the way. Another step on the way for us to getting to maps. And that is something to be celebrated. Speaking of maps, I've been looking a little bit into what maps to run. I've also been discussing in the comments things about damage scaling and where to take the build from here. Something I might not have been overly clear in communicating, but my plan for scaling damage in the endgame is completely focused on Spectres. Because they use monsters' corpses, they re-raise them. Therefore, the life of those Spectres is going to scale with monster life. And that our golems and our zombies and our raging spirits even, they are going to top out based on skill gem level. But Spectres will keep scaling. Therefore, that is the goal for the end game. Also, lightning. I think I'm gonna maybe just make it a rule of thumb. While in a breach, shut the fuck up. Because breaches have a really high, varying degree of difficulty, and those lightning orbs, they are truly starting to terrify me now. Because their damage is actually non-trivial. Okay, and that was that. Yes, okay, so. A couple of rules of thumbs now. Don't play after 10 o'clock or when I'm tired before that. Because that increases the chance of player error. Another rule of thumb. Shut up in breaches or boss fights or whatever and focus on the task at hand. Because while I might be able to multitask while fighting regular mobs, the tougher content in the game definitely requires my attention because I am not the most keenly aware person at the best of times. And if I'm trying to multitask, those definitely no longer count as the best of times. But getting back to the original topic. That was an original topic. Yes, damage scaling. So, Spectres, they base their life off the enemy life because they are simply reanimated enemies. If you raise a blue or yellow mob, I think you basically get the white version of that same mob. So, there's that to consider, but it doesn't take away that if you're playing in a tier 15 map, then you are going to be raising tier 15 white mobs, which have a tremendous amount more life than, let's say, a tier 1 map white mob. Arcanist Strongbox, yes, that's why we have these things. 34% increased quantity of items. I think quantity of items on an Arcanist which drops currency is pretty good, so we're gonna go for it. Also, we're getting close to the entrance of the tower. Might as well unleash the army of the damned. There's of course always a couple of cowards that are running away. Yes, good. So we get an orb of transmutation back, and we get an orb of chance and an extra orb of transmutation as a bonus. Arcanist strongboxes are nice like that. But yeah, our Spectre damage is gonna scale, and therefore the caustic clouds that they leave when they die or when they get replaced is also going to scale with their life.
Remember, Dominus, what goes up must come down.
And no, the other minions, currently we have good life. We have 7,500 life on our zombies, nearly 20,000 on our stone golem. And a portion of that is turned into damage. Keep in mind, the life you see here on the tooltip includes everything from the skill tree on the one hand to the gems that you have linked to them for their life. The calculations I did accounted everything, but the numbers that I've stuck in my head are based off base life, because that is what you work with for the Spectres, because, well, you have no idea how much life they truly have, because that's different for every Spectre that you raise. And for the Spectres it's 100% of base life. For something like a zombie, I think we currently have 7,500 life, but jeez, that was a nasty latency spike. Let's go to town. We'll lag this spike out. Okay. As I was talking about, so this is a better, safer spot to talk anyway. Zombies. Currently their life is about half of this. I think they're closer to 3,000 base life. And a combination of linked gems like minion life and of course the entirety of the skill tree, which gives us the 120% life increase. Those things all add up to get to the life of the tooltip. The caustic clouds, they inflict 10%, I think it's 10%. Yeah, 10% of their maximum life, which is in this case 750 life. And then the minion damage modifier plus 135 is applied to it. So you get 750 plus 135, so that's basically 2.35 times that damage. That's 1850 roughly. But then the minion damage support is a 46% more modifier, so the 1800 damage per second is multiplied by another nearly 50%. So it becomes closer to 2600 or 2700 damage per second, which is 1/3 of the tooltip damage that you see. Spectres don't have tooltip damage, that's why I work with base life, base damage, which is about 100%. So you kill something, it's good. And our latency has been consistent again, so let's push forward. I'm so happy that did not occur during a rift. It's getting exciting. Are we gonna die at Dominus or before Dominus due to lag spikes or other interesting things? Let's keep the small lag spike counter up there. Oh, we gained another level. It's level 72, which gets us to Foresight, 20 base AS and 14%. That's 180 energy shield we gained from a single skill point. I'm very happy with that. Also, our effective life pool is now 6200 if you add life and ES together. Also, screw this, I'm staying in the other room. Something was teleporting around. I have no idea if it's dead or not. But we'll see. Oh yeah, we gained another skill point. Let's see what the limit is of a Raging Spirit. We do need enemies for that, because summoning Raging Spirits into thin air is kind of a waste of time. Where is a breach when you need one? But yeah, those were some scattered thoughts on monster damage scaling and my current plans for things. I'm completely banking on Raging Spirits. Oh, there's Caliga, Imperatrix, and we are being surrounded by mobs, which means I'm just gonna summon the Army of the Damned and take a step back. And that was Caliga. And we are summoning things, so 18, 19, 20, 19, 20, yeah. So we are barely hitting the limit of Raging Spirits with 7.25 seconds. Also, we are again maxed out on items we can pick up. But I think we can do the rift before doing that. Okay. Let's get some caustic clouds going here. Bit of a tool. But in this case, the monsters being partially contained in the other room is a boon for us. Means there's going to be less in our face. Gives us a bit more time. Oh, Army of the Damned can go up. Just trying to summon some more Raging Spirits. Or some more Spectre clouds here. Thing is, with so many targets, it also means that our spirits, or no, I keep calling them spirits, but they're specters. I have some difficulty with words sometimes, most of the times. Also, that was a 5-socket devout chainmail. It's not a 6-socket, nor is it actually a good base for us, but it's interesting to see. Some interesting stuff dropping. Let's see, you spiders. Blue spiders. Extra life spiders. But one of the things that is now a challenge for me as a player is shifting away from a more Zoomonster summoner playstyle and shifting more towards a very active style that actually embraces the Beacon of Corruption, that uses Spectres in a very aggressive manner. Oh, as living bombs, basically. Because it's a lot more intense as a playstyle compared to a regular summoner. But in order to scale our damage, it is what is required, because otherwise our damage is not gonna go up much after our gems hit level 20. And as I mentioned, you know, we can do things like getting a +2 to minion gems, a minion level helmet, which is something I would want anyway. My ideal helmet is going to be a bone helmet, which can be found in certain maps. The lowest tier map being the tier 4 graveyard map. So that's also why I'm going for the bottom right side of the map first to get to the graveyard, so I can farm it for a bone helmet. But it's going to be a bone helmet with +2 to socketed minion gems. But that's going to be a particular mod I would want on that helmet, along with a bunch of bonuses to energy shield, life and resistances. And of course then the perfect item I'm never gonna find. But it is useful to just plan out for yourself what you would like, because then you can always compare to how close you are to your ideal. Let's see, we are looking for the waypoint here. And we are not generating a lot of corpses, so we'll just desecrate some corpses into being. And you see the moment you start to sacrifice some specters, enemies start vaporizing rather quickly. So, 14 minions, desecrate, raise specters, and then it's pretty quickly that you get at least a safe zone around yourself, because those caustic clouds hurts, and because they scale off of monster life. They are guaranteed to do a lot of damage to the monsters at hand. Getting multiple clouds overlapping is useful, because there's some variance in monster life, and especially if you get different kinds of monsters. Different base types have different amounts of life. They all have... Internally, I think the game works with, for each level there's a certain base amount of life. And then each monster has a range of, a percentage range compared to the base amount that they can have. So let's say... No, these are ranged shooters, so therefore they're meant to be not in your face, they're not meant to be tanks. So their damage is probably going to be above the baseline. but their life is going to be below the baseline. So maybe they got like between 60 and 70% of the baseline life. And then individual monsters that spawn will have somewhere between 60 and 70% of the baseline life as their own life. So if you raise one as a Spectre, it might be a 60% version. If you raise another one, it might be a 63% version. But for example, these warriors, no, they're tanky, they have more life. So maybe they got like 120% of base life. So if you desecrate 3 corpses into being, it could be that one of them is going to be a warrior. One of them is going to be one of those shooter types. So one of them is going to be 60% life, the other one is going to be 120% life. So getting multiple monsters with multiple caustic clouds will help, because only the most powerful caustic cloud is going to apply its damage. So therefore there's no harm in overlapping clouds, and there's only upsides in having overlapping clouds. And for a long time while leveling, we did not really have to focus on the caustic clouds. That looks really pretty and colorful, and I think I'm just gonna keep my minions at a range here. Oh yeah, they're crowding each other out. That doesn't really help a lot. Luckily the skulls, they don't really need to take staircases, they can just float up and down surfaces as they see fit. Also, we spawn in the top, then I think this is going to be the room where we have to be. Let's check that out before we move back. I overlooked the door there. And indeed, this is the staircase. Also, there's a prophecy here. We'll defeat the miscreations that escaped the device. We already rolled this one on, I believe, normal or cruel, one of the two. So it makes a comeback. And it's always nice, but it's a bit of a unhappy surprise if you're not completely aware that it's coming. Because, well, tentacle miscreations will hurt, and they will all be loose, if I remember correctly. Okay, corpses on the floor. Let's start desecrating. And more importantly, let's start raising Spectres, re-raising Spectres here. And getting some caustic clouds going. Let's see. The boss here consumes corpses, so we can't desecrate too much, otherwise it will simply consume the corpses. Also, they're doing quite a bunch of damage. So we're gonna have to rock this one old school. I thought I had it, but of course it consumes life. Hey, and we got a guardian angel for ourselves with one of those bubbles. Pretty cool. Oh, it's gonna live not too long, of course, because Spectres are no longer things that we care about individually. They are living bombs. Which is completely different from most Spectre builds, because most Spectre builds, they handpick the type of Spectres they want to go for. And then completely obsess over optimizing the links for them and things like that. And really supporting the Spectres in doing damage. You can actually push your Spectres quite far that way. But this build will not be doing exactly that. I think this is the final tier. So this is where we will be expecting the miscreations in the center. So damage incoming is getting significant. Doesn't help that I'm still trying to focus partially on just getting the new flow of skills right to more actively desecrate and raise Spectres. Which also is reflected in the low count of raising spirits that you see, because you can't do more than one thing at a time. Oh, yeah, there's blues here, but there's rares here. There's a lot of rares here. This warrants an army of the damned even, that many. And then we can just simply raise a couple.
Stolen from.
Hey, because we used the army of the damned, pushing forward might not be the best of ideas. Let's actually farm this area a little bit to get some more corpses or some more souls for the army of the damned, so we can use it against Dominus if need be. Most of the time, it's not a requirement. Most of the time Dominus is actually something that is pretty doable. But it's better to over-prepare than to be sorry. Because we are now in episode 40. So that means if we die, it's gonna be a long while to rebuild this. And we don't even have half of the corpses, so too bad. No Army of the Damned. Don't think it's gonna be viable to do that quickly. And we are already into 40 minutes. This has been quite an episode, but it does mark a good amount of forward progression. And at the time it seems like a good idea to do both bosses in a single episode. But progress through here has been a bit slower than expected. Also, someone has been taking out my zombies. Let's erase all of those. Let's over-raise some zombies even. So we're now doing a combination of re-raising zombies and re-raising specters. Just to get the caustic clouds going. Also, ow. Ow. Yeah, you can touch my minions, but you will not touch me.
Die.
Yeah, but he's not really providing a lot of resistance at the moment. He's really getting distracted by our minions. And we just have to walk over here to trigger his death animation, because he was already dead for quite a while. He's just a bit slow to pick up on the fact. And then we get the final stage. Also, we lost some zombies. Okay, there's a bunch of corpses around, just maximized our thing. And then we just raise some specters. And after we got a couple of caustic clouds going, there's really no point in raising more new specters for a while. So we might as well raise some more spirits.
Not a soul.
And that concludes our fight with Dominus. We have defeated Act 3. We are now going forward into Act 4. And we have a lot of loot to pick up. So let's empty our pockets and move forward. Now, of course, we get to the most dangerous of areas, the aqueduct. So we should not underestimate it, and more importantly, I should not make any player errors on the aqueduct itself. But we are going to do that next time. So next episode is going to be Aqueduct, Dried Lake, and then we are going to go into the mines, tag the waypoint, free the threat, and wrap things up. Final episode before maps, next episode, and after that, map o'clock. So, as always, I'm gonna thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.